Thank you, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, my question is to the Minister for Environment and Water. Minister, how many hectares of native vegetation are designated to be cleared to develop the 60 renewable energy projects you announced in question time yesterday?
The call to the Minister for the Environment and the Minister for Water.
Well, thanks so much. I want to thank the Leader of the National Party for that question. And I want to say that it's obvious that it depends on the renewable energy project itself how much vegetation would have to be cleared.
Order.
In some cases, very little vegetation will be cleared. If we're talking about, well, it depends on the project. There's 60 of them right across the country. But I can understand why the Nationals are so sensitive about this, because while they were in government, there were 22 separate energy policies. They didn't land a single one of them.
Order.
There were 24...
The Chief Government Whip. I want to hear from the Leader of the Nationals on a point of order.
Mr Speaker, that was a very tight question. I seek your ruling. It was a very specific question about the number of hectares on the announcement made yesterday. There was no compare and contrast. It was a very tight question. I seek your ruling, Mr Speaker.
I want to make sure the Minister is adhering to standing orders. She wasn't asked about any other alternative policy. She won't be able to compare or contrast. I can appreciate the Leader would like a figure or a number, but as we have said this time and time again, I can't compel the Minister to give a specific number or figure, but she'll need to remain relevant to the questions about the native vegetation schedule that has been cleared or the number that has been cleared and the measures mentioned in her answer in question time yesterday. And not another great deal of topics can be brought into the answer. She has the call.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. We're working with proponents on all of these projects to minimise any impact on matters of national environmental significance, and that would include land clearing where it's necessary. But it's interesting that the Leader of the Opposition, the Leader of the Nationals, is only interested in land clearing when it comes to renewable energy projects. He's not interested in land clearing if it's a mining project. He's not interested in land clearing if it's a housing project. And he's not interested in land clearing when it's the Shadow Treasurer poisoning grasslands with his companies.
Order. Members on my right. The member for Hasluck will leave the chamber under 94A. We're not having interjections when I'm taking points of order. Rules apply to everyone inside the chamber. Manager on a point of order.
Mr Speaker, Standing Order 91C says that a member's conduct is disorderly if the member wilfully refuses to conform to a standing order. Now, you've given the Minister a very clear direction in terms of relevance. She's flouting that direction, and I submit to you that she is in breach of the standing orders.
Order. Just hear from the Leader of the House.
To the point of order, at the exact moment that the Manager of Opposition rose to his feet, the Minister was talking about land clearing. She was talking about... It was an exact example of land clearing.
Order.
Thanks, Speaker.
Members on my right. The member for Wannon is entitled to raise a point of order.
Thanks, Speaker. The Minister also made an unparliamentary slur against the Shadow Treasurer, and I would ask that she would withdraw that.
Okay. Order. The Shadow Treasurer will not be baited by any interjections. I'll deal with this matter. I assume it was about the remark regarding the member for Hume. So we're just going to ask the Minister to withdraw that comment and refine her remarks to assist the House to the question she was asked. She is entitled to talk about land clearing and native vegetation, but I'll be listening very carefully to make sure she is being directly relevant.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I mean, native vegetation does include rare grasslands.
Just pause a moment. To assist the House, I've asked the Minister to withdraw.
To pay respect to you, Mr Speaker, I do that. I've got... I withdraw.
The member for Wannon, I'll handle this. Just going to get the Minister... Oh, thank you, and the Minister will continue to be directly relevant.
Mr Speaker, I've got a great quote here from the Leader of the National Party about clearing.
I want it to be order. The member... No, we're going to do this the right way, but if this continues on for too much longer, we won't be taking points of order. Question time can't descend into this behaviour. The member for New England on a point of order.
Speaker, I wonder if the Minister would be able to table the document that was handed by the dispatch box to the Prime Minister.
I'll resume your seat.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay. Is the Minister reading from confidential No. Is the Minister reading from confidential documents?
It's a confidential document, Mr Speaker, but there are some elements that I would like to share with the chamber, if that's okay. One of them is,
Order.
in fact...
The Leader of the Opposition... No. The Leader of the Opposition, members on my left, are going to remain silent. The Leader of the Opposition will cease interjecting.
One of them is a quote from the member for New England. We've made massive investments in the New England into renewable energy. I made sure it happened. Another is from the member for Maranoa. We actually want Maranoa to become the renewable energy electorate. Western Downs Shire is screaming at me to become the renewable energy shire of the country with solar and wind. We've got another one from the member for Farrer. I'm so proud that the biggest renewable energy producer is right here in Yenda. Mr Speaker...
Order. The Leader of the Nationals will cease interjecting. The Minister's just got to return to the question.
Mr Speaker, each one of these projects required some land clearing. And, of course, if the projects are good projects, then they go ahead. That's how we make decisions.
Order. The member for Barker.